Yo,
I'm going to say it. We're back.
we are back. We're back, and you got a big old boo-boo on your forehead.
Yeah, dude. You want to hear about it?
Yeah, tell me about your boo-boo on your forehead.
Well, it all started this morning when I was walking into the shower and for absolutely no reason just slammed my noggin onto the corner of the tile wall leading into my shower.
Damn.
And I just smacked it hard, dude. And what I tell you earlier, we talked about it earlier, but this is what happened. I had a moment where I was like, fuck. And I was feeling really bad about myself. I was feeling like, wow, this actually really hurts. But then I realized, do you think John Wick would complain about this moment? Because I've been watching the John Wick trilogy. Well, hold on, there's 4. Unfortunately, the 4th one isn't on Netflix, so I have yet to watch the 4th one.
Okay.
But last week wasn't feeling too well because of you. That's actually your fault because you ordered us burritos. And the burrito that I got at the studio.
We all ate the same shit, and you're the only person that got sick.
I feel like you made them do something weird to my burrito, and you purposely gave me that burrito.
Yeah. Dude, there's something so about bonking your head as an adult. When you're a grown man and you bonk your head, it's like...
It simply is embarrassing.
You could be in the middle of the woods and be like, oh, fuck, I hope nobody saw that. Like, you just,
What's
you
funny
immediately
is, like,
feel embarrassed. Yeah.
I felt really embarrassed. It's actually like more embarrassing when no one's there to see how dumb you are.
Well, because you do your natural human thing, which is to just play it off and be like, oh, what?
No, I looked around. Dude, I looked around. And I was like, did anyone see that? And
There's
I'm by
a murderer
myself.
behind the door. It's like, yes, I did.
I'm by myself at home. I look around. No one saw it.
Dude,
but now everyone really sees it.
When you're a kid, every time I'd have to take a shit, I'd have to like walk into the bathroom and go up to the like shower curtain. Make sure, because I thought there was somebody there.
I still do that sometimes.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, you're home alone and you just
what if you bump your head on your shower and you just hear some guy giggling behind the shower curtain? He's just like...
Dude, my biggest fear, dude, as a kid was that I was going to be taking a dump and that's when I get murdered. Like, that's why you check. Like, I don't check because I'm afraid that there's a guy that's going to kill me behind the curtain. I check because I don't want to die from a guy behind the curtain when I'm taking a poop. I don't want to go out when I'm pooping.
You don't want an EMT to see your bare balls.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't matter because you're
bare
dead.
Button balls.
But yeah, everybody's going to see it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't want your like mid shit hog out there in the world. You don't want to see that.
Scared me, dude. That scared me a lot as a kid. The possibility of someone being behind that shower curtain.
Oh, dude, it was the biggest. Like, it's probably
where does that come? Where'd that start? Psycho? Is that where that started?
Psycho,
the shower curtain
was the murder in the shower.
That's what I'm saying. So, but like, is that where this started? Where did our fear? Where did we get indoctrinated with this fear of a guy that's holding a machete behind a shower curtain?
I mean, it's got to be a movie of some sort. But yeah, that was fucking terrifying. Dying naked is really scary.
Or like, have you ever like thought you heard something behind the shower curtain too?
Yeah.
But it's just like the water. You didn't turn the water off.
I was watching my friend's house this weekend, and it was just me in this giant fucking house with his dogs. And I was like laying there, and I was just like, thought I heard something. Just not used to. You're in a different house. I'm on like a wing.
Would you want to have a big house if you live by yourself?
Not alone. No.
That's scary.
Yeah.
It's just like lonely.
It would be really. I was in there and I was just like, oh, this is great. And then I was like, I'm kind of scared right now. Yeah, it was fun, but yeah, it's I don't know. You hear some creaks and your brain starts wandering.
Yeah. I used to have really bad dreams as a kid too. Like I would have reoccurring nightmares that people were chasing me and my family with guns.
Really?
Yeah. We had to run away and like they were chasing us out of the house.
I always had a recurring dream that I was like on this beach, but the beach was like super steep and I had to like ride down the super steep beach into the water. But then there's like this iceberg area. I think it started when I was watching a lot of Lost as a kid.
Really?
Because there was like polar bears in the ocean and yeah.
Lost was a good show.
Fizzling. Dude, we're fizzling. Every time we try to talk about dreams.
Lost was a good show.
Lost was fucking great. I tried rewatching it though. It's not as good as I remembered it being. I still remember the.
What an era, dude, of TV. When Lost was big in high school, that's when The Office was popping off.
Dude.
I remember watching The Office live when it dropped. And we would all hang out and watch The Office together.
Yeah, me and my dad would watch The Office every week, and the whole family would watch Lost every week.
What were the worst shows that your parents watched growing up?
I don't remember them watching a lot of TV. I can't I don't know. There's probably like some like religious stuff that they would watch back then.
My dad's sense of humor was always good. He's like the one that introduced us to, Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
He was obsessed with Seinfeld. You know what? I think my dad watched some Curb Your Enthusiasm before he ended up passing.
Yeah, did he?
And he loved. Oh, of course.
Curb is so fucking good because you realize that all of Seinfeld is just Larry David's life, or like the way he is.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was at a Chipotle, and there were these two cops right next to me at the little area where you get your napkins and your utensils and stuff. And I accidentally grabbed too many napkins, and I'm not even kidding. I looked for a second that it was gonna be a problem. But this is why I thought about the episode of Curb where he goes and gets the meatball sub, and the guy behind the counter tells Larry not to take more napkins, and he goes and he just reaches and grabs the stack and he leaves, and then he gets pulled over by a cop, and the cop is like, "You took too many napkins at the sub spot." And have you seen that episode?
Yeah.
He gets in a bunch of trouble for taking too many napkins, but it reminds me so much of my dad because it's just literally something my dad would do. He acts like Larry David.
Yeah, there's a newer one. I don't know I think there's a new season coming out or just came out. Do you know?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if but there was the season before that was more recent, and there's an episode where he realizes if he wears a "Make America Great Again" hat that people will leave him alone wherever he's at.
Oh, that's amazing.
Nobody will want to talk to him. It's so funny.
That's epic.
He gets in road rage incident, and this big redneck guy comes in and he's screaming. He doesn't know what to do. He just puts a hat on. The guy's like, "I'm sorry, sir." I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were one of us. It's really fucking
It's just
funny.
solving all of his problems.
Yeah, it's just there was one where one of the guys had a fake had a funeral for himself, but he wasn't dead yet, but he invited everybody so he could watch his own funeral, and Larry finds out that he was a COVID hoarder and has all of the toilet paper and hand sanitizer in this room, and it's really fucking dumb, but it's
a great
so good,
show.
Yeah, it's really good. I know. I've been I rewatched Sopranos recently. I recently rewatched all of Monk, and it was actually a great show.
Oh wow.
Do you remember that one? That was another early.
I remember it. I've just
90s.
never seen it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's great. Definitely OCD detective, can't touch anything. I like it.
That new Griselda series on Netflix is pretty wild.
I finished it last night.
Oh,
I forgot.
really?
I want to talk about it. Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. It's such an interesting saga of watching this ego just grow into this unstoppable force.
Have you seen what she really looks like?
I did. I looked it up, and it was very obvious to me why they picked.
It's not Sofia Vergara.
It's not Sofia Vergara.
Everybody's because in the show they're "Oh yeah, you with your big tits and ass," and then you look at the person in the song, you're like, "Oh, I don't think she."
Dude, I remember
that
when we first moved out to Orange County, I went and hung out with Travis Bunn for the day in LA. We were probably 23 or something, and we were at a coffee shop down the street from his place having breakfast outside on this patio, and she was sitting right next to us.
Sofia Vergara?
Yes, the whole time.
Mama.
She was sitting right next to us the whole time, and I didn't recognize that it was her. And Travis was like, that show Modern Family? I was like, yeah. And he's like, that was her. And I was like, oh shit, that was her. That's crazy.
Yeah. LA.
Anyways, that's my dude, I saw a famous person story.
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen a famous person.
In the wild, you mean?
Yeah.
In the wild?
I saw Chris D'Elia at
the airport. We all did.
At the Daytona airport.
He walked past us. He walked past us, and Ryan's like, "That's Chris D'Elia." He's just walking by himself.
The shittiest, smallest airport. You get out, it's 3 gates, and you look outside, and it's just the fucking NASCAR track.
I think the most I saw a celeb in the wild once. I saw Jeff Rowley walked into Mother's Market when I was working there in the vitamins department and asked me where like vitamins were. And I was like, it's Jeff Rowley. He was like my idol as a kid.
Dude, he was
my favorite skateboarder. It was Jeff Rowley and Andrew Reynolds. Those were my two faves.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. I used to call him G-Off because I thought that's how you pronounced it.
Ed Templeton also was an avid shopper at Mother's.
So I was a huge like Toy Machine fan when I was like in skating and stuff. And I was like Ed Templeton, Caswell Berry, all those fucking guys like were so fucking good. And they came to Chandler Skate Park one time like unannounced and just like shredded, and it was so dope. I think ever since that moment, being a young kid and seeing pros from like any team and they go there and they like give like, you know, give you a little fist dab, and
the flip team showed up to the Tempe Park one time and gave away like 40 decks out of the back of a van to all the kids that were there.
That's funny. I was at the opening day of the Chandler Skate Park, and it was awesome. Like hundreds of people, and Wee Man was there. It was like before Jackass, or it might have been like right after like really, really, really early days of Jackass. But he like signed my helmet, and it just says Jason Acuna, like his name, not Wee Man. But it's so cool. It was so exciting back then. I remember getting a pack of gum. There was like a vendor of someone, and it was caffeine gum. And I was like 11, and I was fucking bouncing off the walls.
Caffeine gum?
Yeah, it was gum with caffeine in it, and I was fucking just so much caffeine gum as a kid.
Wow.
It was fun.
Wow.
Skating was I could never do it again because I'm so afraid of getting hurt.
I don't think it's worth it anymore.
It's not, dude.
I don't want to get hurt either.
It's so cool seeing, like, I see other people though, they're like my age that can still fucking skate, and you're like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How are you not afraid?
Or skiing too. I feel like skiing, like I feel like I'm at the age now where if I'm not good at skiing, I'm never gonna be good at skiing, and it's probably way more of a risk for me to go skiing than it will be a good time for me.
I would like to ski just because all my friends go skiing. They all do a big ski trip together and shit.
Have you ever done it?
No. I'd be so bad, dude. I got way too long legs.
I feel like you'd be so bad.
I'm like 80% legs. Like,
well, what do you think?
What
would you say your balance is like?
Horrible.
Yeah, you need good balance.
I have horrible balance. I went snowboarding once. I could not turn left.
Yeah.
I only could turn to the right.
It's
and then
so
I'd fall.
Dangerous too.
Everybody
locked
breaks
in,
their
bro.
shit.
You're locked in. If
I
you
mean,
start
like, get
going,
off. I remember getting off the ski lift and just eating shit immediately. And I'm like, oh, it was like the rude awakening of what was about to happen for the rest of my day. It was just like, as soon as I got on, I was like, whoa, shit. Like, I can't do this.
I remember, I think it was like Tim Pony and some other people making fun of the time they all went skiing, and Andy got stuck at the top, and he was just pissed off the whole time because they kept leaving him.
Why'd he get stuck? Because
he was bad.
Go down? Yeah.
No, because he just like didn't know what he was doing, and everyone else kind of did.
Yeah.
And so he'd get left behind. And I remember him telling me how much he hated it.
You know who I bet was probably pretty good was our old tour manager, Colby Thornton. I bet
Colby's good. He's probably good at snowboarding.
He's one of those weird guys that's just good at everything he tries to do.
Yeah.
Except for tour managing. I'm just kidding. Oh, shit. Yeah, we've had a kind of semi-busy week. We've just been, working and doing our stuff. There's not a whole lot we can talk about.
Dude, I've had a really busy week. I just finished mixing and mastering the new Greaves and Mouse Powell project, which when's this coming out? In like
2 weeks.
Yeah, so in 2 days from now, I believe, is the release date of Why Not 2. Shout out our homie Mouse.
Nice.
Who we love dearly.
Yeah,
He's been on
Mouse.
the podcast. Yeah, I mixed their new project. Greaves flew in for a day like a week or two ago. So that's been fun. Just wrap that up.
Nice. Blue the Color just got a new track coming out that me and you and your brother did together. It's really sick.
Yeah, that song's awesome. So Blue's got another one coming out. I've been what else? Yeah.
I've been slacking off.
I've been working on a lot of different projects. It's been exciting.
Watching my friend's house really was I didn't do shit. I drank beers by myself and watched movies. I watched Saltburn. Everybody was telling me to watch it. I really liked it. It's just
the gayest movie I've ever seen in my life.
You watched it?
Yeah.
What was gay about it when he had sex with the grave?
Uh-huh.
When he slurped?
Well, it's a really dark movie, dude.
It's fucked up.
Yeah,
it was good. I didn't love the ending. I think it was kind of like predictable, but I liked it. There's a lot of like really good movies I want to see.
Have you seen any other good movies?
No, I just finished the Griselda one, that show, and I really liked it. But I like all of those like Narcos kind of shows where it's like the cartel stuff.
The way that it's shot and like the color grading and stuff, that like 80s Miami. Is it the 80s? Is that
70s, 80s Miami? Yeah. I can't remember.
Well, it's a wild time, man.
Yeah, it'd be a scary fucking place to be at that time, huh?
It's crazy too, like to see like all the decisions she makes and how nuclear they are, and like how things just start exploding because of like the ego-based decisions she starts making. It reminds me in some ways of Breaking Bad, like when he just starts. He says he needs to do it to take care of his family,
and then
it quickly becomes something that's just satisfying his own ego pleasures of like becoming this like control freak. You know what I mean?
And that show is so like Breaking Bad, obviously one of the best shows of all time, but he turns into the bad guy and you still love him and you're still like rooting for the bad guy then. And then
that's what's so interesting how they can develop that story, you know?
The dude that Vince Gilligan that did that show did a lot of old X-Files shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's why they're
Breaking
so
Bad
good.
Is such a good show, like the way that you fall in love with the characters and the character development, and like to see the way like Jesse evolves, and even like the whole, like I remember when you first watched Breaking Bad, spoiler alert, everyone's seen Breaking Bad, but like when Hank first finds out,
oh dude,
it's such an epic, insane moment of the show when Hank finds out that his brother-in-law is the dude he's been like trying to chase.
It's so rare to have a show with a great ending as well. Like it's usually they don't know how to do it and it just like cuts off. But Breaking Bad had one of the best endings of any show. I think Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, I really liked, even though a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of those old HBO shows were so fucking good. Like The Wire was great. There was one called 6 Feet Under.
My dad really liked that show.
6 Feet Under.
I never got into it, but
it's really good. Mm-hmm. I watched that one like last year for the first time, but that ending was like, it kind of just goes through, because the whole show's about like death and the family that takes care of the house, but it starts with like a new death.
They own a what's it called?
Funeral home.
Yeah,
and so like each episode starts with like somebody dies, and then that's the person that's gonna be coming in that day. But then there's this whole backstory of the family, and they're all growing up, and at the end, it kind of goes through each individual person's life until they die and how they die, and it gives you closure on every single character in the entire show, which is kind of dope.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I need some new shows and stuff, but I've been back on my books right now. I'm traveling the jungles of the Amazon at night.
Is that the same book?
No, it's a new one.
I finished. What's that called?
This one's called The Lost City of Z, and it's by the same author. And it's about this dude
It's nonfiction.
Yeah, it's not fiction. This guy in like the 1700s went looking, like it was when maps just had blank spaces. They didn't have the whole world like charted out yet. And so it would just say like Amazon, and then there'd be pictures of what they think is there. And so it'd be people with like heads in their chests, and it's like all this crazy shit. And so this guy from Europe goes out there and he fucking starts exploring the Amazon, but he just, he goes into the jungle and has to like chart out, like he's trying to find the source of the Amazon River and all this shit. And people are dying left and right, and he somehow never gets sick, and he's running into like cannibal tribes and like trying to like deal with that. It's a really wild book, but he's looking for this lost city. Like he's looking for an ancient lost civilization out there, and he just goes missing with his son, and nobody ever hears from him. And so all these people try to go find him. They all go missing. Nobody can find it. And then
they find out it's Bigfoot, right?
They find out it's Bigfoot, yeah.
Yeah, no, I fucking told you, dude.
The author is like, right now, I'm like halfway through the book right now, but he's going to the Amazon to see if he can like find out more information about what happened and, find the city of gold in the middle of Amazon that is all the riches. And,
that's interesting.
It's really cool.
That's crazy.
I love those, I love nonfiction books with good stories. The amount of like research these guys have to do is insane.
Yeah, I didn't realize this, but writers have research teams. So they have a team of people that do research for them and then bring all of everything that they find to the guy that's writing the book so that he can just harvest more.
Really?
Yeah.
I think this dude.
I had no idea that
goes
writers
to
did that, but that's like a lot of people do that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like Robert. I know like Robert Greene would do that with his books, or like, yeah, I don't know, because you got to think it's like, what would take the most time if you're trying to write a book about something? Doing the research, studying the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can have a team of people doing that, it makes sense like why people would do that. But I didn't know that. He
talks to, like, in the book, he kind of talks about his own journey on like trying to find the information. And he's like flying to, you know, he goes to London and goes to like the museum and finds these old papers that were like just released. And then he goes to the Amazon. So he's like doing a lot of hands-on shit. But then I see pictures of him, I'm like, this motherfucker did not like, he didn't go through the Amazon.
Yeah.
You can tell. You can tell who's.
Oh, that would be terrifying, dude, to be alone in the Amazon.
I want to go.
No, you
Amazon.
don't.
Yeah, I do.
You would hate the Amazon.
I think I want to go.
There's no way you would enjoy that.
If we're fishing, it's supposed to be like,
dude, you'd be afraid of like a tapeworm the whole time.
I really would.
You'd be like afraid to like look at a plant.
I'd be taking antibiotics the whole time.
Yeah.
There's fucking in this book, they'd go through like all the bugs and shit that is going. So there's obviously the one that goes into like bores into your dick, and in the water,
in your penis hole.
It goes into your penis hole and it like swells it up and cuts off.
So it makes it bigger, is what you're telling me.
For a little bit, yeah. You get 3 inches, dude. Go to the Amazon.
It's the cock enlarger roach.
It hurts so bad because it's in their fucking dick, and then they try to cut off their dick and they still die. It's like, that's how bad it is. So like they have that. They have other ones where like flies are like leaving fucking worms in their bodies.
Oh, dude, that shit. I know it.
Fucking.
That dude Paul Rizzoli. Do you know, or Paul? What are those called? They're called
flies.
Yeah, bot flies. Those are disgusting, bro. I saw videos of him pulling those out of his shoulder. It
horrendous.
Is disgusting.
If you there's that fear of like the fear of holes, you know, people have. It's called like trichophobia or something like that. But if you have that, don't look up botflies. It's the most disgusting shit ever. But these guys were getting that. There's another one where it's the egg of a fly that would get on a mosquito that would have malaria. A mosquito would bite you and it would inject the egg into your skin, and then it would start deteriorating your mouth and your nose, like any hole. All your holes are fucked.
Yeah.
So it's just it sounds fucking insane. And these guys are out there. They don't have like, this is the 1700s.
Yeah, you don't know. You can't look it up on Google what's going on with you.
Yeah, one of the really interesting things I read yesterday was like they encounter a tribe. Somehow the tribe doesn't murder them immediately, and they like kind of become cool with them. And they watched them, like they had no problem finding food. And these guys are out in the jungle starving because they're out there for like it could be a year where they're just walking through the jungle trying to find the shit on their own. And like they went fishing and they took a rag and they dropped this like milky cloudy water into the water, and fish started going belly up, like right where it was. Like fish would all come to the cloud, then they would belly up. The kids would take it. It was just enough poison to like stun the fish, but when you cook it, it doesn't hurt the person. And then whichever like little fish, like they would only take the big ones that would actually feed them. They let the other ones go. They would like, after time, the fish would like regain consciousness and just go back on their way and like live. It's like they would find all these weird poisons and different things in the plants in the Amazon that nobody knew about.
Yeah, how do you think
that's how they would fix their like? One of them said,
but how do you think that they're figuring that out? Like, there's
a lot of people dying, probably. Yeah,
a lot of people dying, but also, you know, like these like kind of plant like ceremony things that these tribes would do with like ayahuasca and all these like psychedelic plants in the Amazon. It makes me wonder like what kind of knowledge they're downloading within that process to like understand that certain plants do certain things.
Well, I mean, it's like,
that's
since the beginning of people being
crazy.
there, they're going to start knowing like, hey, everybody that's eaten that one dies. So we don't like, you learn that what's good and what's bad over evolution and stuff. But like also there's another one, like they would go hunting, and like the explorer went hunting with this tribe, and he said that there was nothing around, and the Indian told him to like stop and just be really quiet. And he makes like the weirdest noise with his mouth, and suddenly a deer just runs right in front of him and stops, and he shoots him. Mm-hmm. So like they were able to do these like noises with their mouth that can like bring monkeys to the tree in front of them while they shoot. And they would like get these things where the guy, he said that
there were also tribes that spoke like monkeys.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah,
they would.
That.
They
it's
would.
Crazy.
They would make sounds like animals, and that's how they communicated instead of using like,
Yeah,
language.
the guy had worms in his body.
The worm guy,
disgusting. And they, he said that one of the like shaman or whatever made like this weird noise with his mouth, and the worm just poked his head out, and then they were able to get it out. And he said that he tried playing music to his own wound and making every sound possible in his thing, and nothing would make it happen. But like these guys could do some sort of like, they could get animals to come to them with the right like frequency noises and shit, which is insane. It's just a whole different thing that like we've never had to like develop.
Dude, that's what's crazy is like we're so detached where we live now and like the way society is from living off of the world, like living off of the planet.
Yeah.
That like,
what if you could just make a noise and a burger pops up though?
I know, right?
We need to get back to that.
You make like a crazy sound and just a double with fries pops up.
You're like, whoa, in the tree? What's going on? Yeah, you make a fucking this gross grunt and then a 64-ounce Coca-Cola pops up in front of you. That would be the new one.
Yeah.
The Amazon calls, baby.
This has been a really interesting podcast so far.
Yeah, I know.
We're really going for it this time, aren't we?
Yeah. These shorter ones we got to do now because
we have nothing to lose, man.
We're top secret.
We have nothing to lose.
Yeah. How about Anwar last week? That was fun.
I love him. He's hilarious.
That's great. I know. It would be really fun to get more.
It's interesting how similar comedy is to music in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And like the I thought it was so interesting how he, like with him explaining the writing process of like writing jokes and how they come up is so similar to bringing music into the world. Like the idea of like this thing that you and your friends think is just cool or in that case funny.
Yeah.
But then how do we capture this and then like give it to the world so that they can enjoy it too and understand how cool it is too. And that's like kind of what we do with music.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like it's just something that we really enjoy. Like Katastro is just something we think is sick, and we spend all this time figuring out how to bundle it up so that other people can like jump in too.
Yeah.
Comedy is a very interesting thing. Like
it's so scary.
Like if you really break it down to how crazy it is, like you're making sounds into a microphone and then other people are getting happy because of that and laughing and coming together and realizing like,
well, also comedy has been so private until like just recently, where you wouldn't see like clips of just what people were doing every week. Now you can. And so it's always kind of this like, it was kind of this exclusive thing that only like you and your friends knew about, unless you saw like a special or something. So it's cool now to be able, you can consume so much, which is kind of like the music industry, how everything is, there's so many ways to listen to music with all the different streaming sites, and how social media has changed the industry. Has changed like comedy a lot too.
I think, yeah, dude, remember the first week that we worked on the Katastro stuff after Andy passed? Every night during that week of sessions, we would all sit and watch Kill Tony together, or like watch comedy together. And it was such a cool way for us to like momentarily forget about how heavy of the thing we were doing all day long and just sit and laugh together. And I remember that being like super therapeutic for us. And like, since me, you and Tanner have a similar sense of humor and think that the same stuff is funny generally. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It was,
I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts by like comedians and stuff too, just because I think just for me with anxiety and stuff, you can't really have bad anxiety and also be like dying laughing at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just kind of like, why not try to bring more laughter and fun and shit into your life whenever you can?
Yeah. Comedy's a crazy thing, dude.
Yeah.
We should go to another comedy show soon.
Yeah, I'm down. I don't know.
Well, you're going to one soon, aren't you?
Yeah, and Bill Burr's coming in March.
Oh, nice.
One. So, yeah. Cool. Yeah, well, I've been really wanting to go to more because I never really did. For how much I like consume comedy,
especially today, dude, with like how I don't know, like divided people are on certain things. It's still the one thing that people can all get in a room and agree like this is really funny.
Yeah, and it's like,
and I like the comedians that make fun of everybody.
Exactly,
like, on both sides, and it's like a relief. It's like, hey, we're all the same, and we're all stupid, and we all know nothing, and we're all idiots, and that's everybody. And so like, let's just have fun.
Let's just have fun.
Yeah.
Well, let's call it early this week.
Let's call it a day, Stevie, shall we?
We've got a little quick shorty for you guys we didn't want to go without. So love y'all. See you next week.